Today we're going to be learning how to put a stencil onto a t-shirt using freezer paper and spray paint. So I'm going to be making this lovely logo of Mr. Otter Art Studios. Don't know if you recognize this handsome fella. And I'm going to be putting him on a small little onesie. And then a very dear family member of mine happens to love the Warrior Cats series. So if you can see hers, she is making a stencil, I Heart Warrior Cats. Step 1, print what you want to make a stencil of. Once you print out the image that you want to make a stencil of, get some freezer paper. Freezer paper is different than butcher paper. It has wax on one side, kind of shiny, and then it doesn't have wax on the other side. So just go and buy a big thing of freezer paper, rip out a piece that's bigger than your image, and then you're going to put it over your image and trace it. Trace it on the side that isn't waxy. Trace everything you have to cut out. If you do not know how to make a stencil, click on the link right here and it will show you how to make a stencil. Use an X-Acto knife. There's a sharp side and a blunt side. You want to push the sharp side where you're cutting and push hard. Okay, if you don't have a cutting board to cut on, just grab one of your sketchbooks and just use the cardboard that's on the back of it. Here's a really quick tip for cutting things out with an X-Acto knife. I like to just go around the whole thing and cut it. If there's a part that's really tricky, just cut into, like for example, I'm going to cut this out and I'm just going to cut into it that way, so that I don't go out where I'm using the stencil, because this piece is just going to come out. So it's okay to cut into your stencil, but don't cut out. The size of freezer paper you need, it needs to be bigger than your stencil and big enough that it will cover the fabric on the shirt. Cutting it out takes the longest, but once you have it cut out, it is so fast to just iron onto your shirt and then spray with spray paint. So don't be discouraged about how long it takes to cut it out. Just lay whatever you're ironing it onto out, put it with the shiny side down, figure out where you want it. Do you want it tilted? I want mine just pretty much in the middle. Get your iron. That should be turned not at the hottest heat, but in the middle. Mine's on acrylic and wool, but I'm sure as long as it's hot, it'll be fine. And instead of ironing, I'm kind of pressing it down. I'm just trying to melt that wax onto the fabric so that the spray paint stays where I want it to stay. If you want to test it, like just come over to the corner. So you have to tear that away. Can you hear that sound? That means that it is good, it's working. Okay? If you want to do 2 colors or you don't want a certain part to show up, just get a piece of your wax paper and iron it over that part. So now I've created a mask so that heart is not going to be black. Okay, now you need to go outside to use the spray paint. That's very important. Go outside somewhere where it is not windy, or that can cause some problems. Lay down some newspaper to protect what you're spray painting on. Get your shirt. Now, you want to protect this part of your shirt that you don't want to be purple or black or whatever color of spray paint you're using. So I'm just going to tuck my shirt underneath the freezer paper. We're just using this cheap Krylon kind. I think it was maybe $3. Zoom in on that. I don't really know the specifics, but it works. You want to take the lid off. You may need help from an adult if you've never done this before. If you're Now when you spray it, you don't want to sit in one spot for a really long time. You want to move it around. So I'm going to let you do this. Yep. Now that's where it comes. Make sure you look at where it comes out and don't spray yourself in the face, because I've had that happen to a student. They sprayed it right on the wall, actually. Custodian did not like it. Okay, so get down on your knees, get close. You just want to do some quick swipes. One thing you want to avoid when you're doing this is holding it in one spot, or it's going to start to run and it will go underneath your stencil. So just go lightly over it. Yeah. So do one coat, and can you see how it's getting a little shiny in here? Just wait for a minute so that this doesn't start to drip down into your shirt. She's adding her second coat. This is an example of too much paint in one spot, but hopefully it'll be okay. If you're doing two colors, you can take off whatever you were using to mask the color you didn't want to show up with this one. Okay, so there is her heart. Now you can use spray paint. If you were going to use spray paint for this, you just need to cover up your letters now with more freezer paper or newspaper and tape. So cover up what you don't want color on. She's just going to be using acrylic paint and painting her heart. Okay, once everything's dry, carefully take your stencil off. Okay, now you can see the R where it was bunched up, it kind of seeped under. And on the S, but still, overall, it looks pretty dang good and pretty dang sharp. Okay, now let that dry, and then you're going to come back in and do one more coat. Okay, so it's not shiny anymore around the edges, so I know I can add my second coat. Now I'm going to let that dry. It's pretty thick. If you're nervous about it, you can actually just take it off at this point. Are you still filming? And there he is! Mr. Otter Art Class onesie. So it's really easy to do. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial, and we will see you soon on YouTube.